Can you really speak good English without knowing grammar? That's the question we're going to dive into today. It's a query that's crossed the minds of many, stirring up a whirlwind of thoughts and debates. Grammar, as we know it, is the backbone of any language. It's the system, the code, the highway roadmap that guides us along the path of communication. But how crucial is it when it comes to speaking English? Can one truly express themselves accurately and adequately without a firm grasp of grammatical rules? Or is it possible to navigate the intricate maze of English speech without this roadmap? These are the thoughts that stir the pot of this intriguing discussion. It's a question that beckons us to examine our own understanding of the English language, its structure, and its rules. So, buckle up, language enthusiasts. In this video, we'll explore the connection between grammar and spoken English. Imagine a person who has studied every grammar rule in the English language. Picture someone with an encyclopedic knowledge of tenses, modals, and conditionals. This person can tell you the difference between a gerund and an infinitive, and can diagram a sentence with the precision of an architect drafting a blueprint. This grammar guru, as we'll call them, speaks English with a level of accuracy that would make even the most pedantic English teacher beam with pride. Their language is like a well-oiled machine, with each word slotting into its rightful place in the sentence, guided by the unerring hand of grammar. They never confuse fewer with less, always remember to use whom where it's appropriate, and would never dream of ending a sentence with a preposition. Their language is a fortress, impervious to the slings and arrows of misplaced modifiers and split infinitives. However, as impressive as this might sound, there's something that might be missing in the grammar guru's speech. Despite the precision and structure, their language might seem overly formal to some, perhaps even robotic. It's like a meticulously rehearsed piece of music, every note in its place, but lacking the spontaneity and improvisation that brings a song to life. Everyday conversation is often messy and unpredictable, filled with pauses, hesitations, and false starts. It's rare to hear someone speak in perfectly formed sentences all the time, and a conversation with the grammar guru might feel more like a lecture than a chat. Moreover, English as it's spoken in the real world often doesn't adhere strictly to grammar rules. Colloquial expressions, slang, and regional dialects all bend and stretch the boundaries of English grammar. In essence, while a thorough understanding of grammar can allow for clear and accurate communication, it doesn't necessarily make language sound natural or conversational. It's the difference between a perfectly pruned bonsai tree and a wild, sprawling oak. Both are beautiful in their own way, but only one truly captures the chaotic splendor of nature. Grammar knowledge can make language precise, but it doesn't always make it natural. Now consider someone who has never studied grammar but speaks English fluently. Picture this individual who has learned English entirely through immersion. They have absorbed the language through conversations, movies, music, and books, without once cracking open a grammar textbook. This person's English feels fluid and natural. They can carry on conversations, express their thoughts and feelings, and understand what others are saying to them. They can tell a joke, give a compliment, or ask for directions. They can navigate the world of English without the aid of grammar rules. The language of this natural speaker is intuitive. They might not know what a past participle or a split infinitive is, but they know how to use them because they've heard them used correctly countless times. They have internalized the patterns and rhythms of the language. They can sense when a sentence sounds right and when it feels off. But here's the catch. While the natural speaker's language might be fluid and intuitive, it isn't always perfect. They might mix up who and whom or use less when they should use fewer. They might make mistakes with tense or use prepositions inconsistently. They might say things that sound natural to them, but which a grammar guru would instantly identify as incorrect. These errors, however, don't always hinder communication. In fact, they might even make the language feel more authentic, more human. After all, even native speakers make grammar mistakes. And many linguists argue that language is a living, evolving entity, and what's considered an error today might be accepted as correct tomorrow. So, what's the verdict on the natural speaker? Yes, they make mistakes. Yes, their language might be inconsistent, but they can communicate effectively, and their language has a certain charm to it. It's a language born not of rules and regulations, but of real-life interactions and experiences. Absence of grammar knowledge can result in errors, but it can also make language more natural. So, which is better, knowing grammar or not? Well, as with most things in life, the answer isn't black and white. It's not a simple choice between being a grammar guru or a natural speaker. Instead, the sweet spot lies somewhere in the middle, a harmonious blend of these two approaches. It's about understanding the rules of grammar and also knowing when it's okay to bend them a little in the name of conversational flow. Imagine grammar as the framework of a house. It provides the structure and the boundaries that give shape to the building. But a house isn't just its frame, right? It needs warmth, color, and character to truly become a home. The same goes for language. Grammar provides the structure, but natural, fluid speech gives it life. Now let's talk about context because it is crucial. In a formal situation such as a business meeting or an academic presentation, stricter adherence to grammar is expected. It conveys credibility, professionalism, and respect for your audience. Misplaced modifiers or incorrect verb tenses might distract your listeners or even lead to misunderstandings. On the other hand, in a casual conversation with friends, there is more room for flexibility. You can relax and allow the conversation to flow naturally without getting too hung up on every grammatical detail. After all, the main goal of communication is to understand and be understood, isn't it? It's important to remember that language is dynamic. It evolves and adapts over time. While grammar is an essential part of this, so too is the natural colloquial speech that reflects our everyday experiences. In the end, it's not about choosing one over the other. It's about finding a balance. Strive to understand and apply grammatical rules, but also allow yourself the freedom to express ideas naturally. Be mindful of the context and adjust your language accordingly. The key to speaking good English lies in balancing grammar knowledge with natural speech. So, can you speak good English without knowing grammar? We've journeyed through this question together, delving into the depths of grammatical rules, natural language learning, and the balance between the two. Now it's time to wrap up our discussion and pull together the threads of our exploration. Remember when we met our grammar guru? She showed us the beauty of grammar, its structure, and precision. The rules that she taught us can act as a roadmap, guiding us through the complex terrain of the English language. They help us to avoid misunderstandings and to express ourselves clearly. After all, the difference between "let's eat grandma" and "let's eat grandma" is, well, rather significant. But is grammar the be-all and end-all of language learning? Our natural speaker would surely disagree. He reminded us that language is a living, breathing thing, evolving over time and space. Just as a child learns their mother tongue through exposure and imitation, so too can we pick up English naturally, without burying our noses in grammar textbooks. This approach prioritizes communication and fluency, allowing us to speak with ease and confidence. So, where does that leave us? Somewhere in the middle, perhaps. The middle ground, as we've come to call it. Here, we recognize the value of both grammatical knowledge and natural language acquisition. The two are not mutually exclusive, but rather, they complement each other. Grammar provides a framework, while natural learning fills in the gaps and adds color. Think of it as building a house. Grammar is the blueprint, the foundation, and the skeletal structure. It ensures the house is sound, stable, and able to withstand the elements. But a house is more than its structure. The warmth of a home comes from the people within it, the laughter and conversations that echo through its halls. That's natural language learning. It's the paint on the walls, the pictures hung, the memories made. It's the life that fills the structure and makes it a home. So, yes, it is possible to speak good English without knowing grammar, but understanding the rules of grammar can help to refine your language, to make it more precise and clear. It can prevent potential misunderstandings and help you to articulate your thoughts more effectively. At the same time, don't lose sight of the importance of natural fluid speech, of the joy of communication, of expressing yourself and connecting with others. As we journey forward in our language learning, let's strike a balance. Let's use grammar as our guide, but not our master. Let's learn naturally, but not disregard the rules altogether. Understanding grammar rules can enhance your English, But is for communication, not perfection.